All right, we're live, so give me just a minute to go ahead and get you tagged.
Okay.
All right, we're live, so give me just a minute to go ahead and get you tagged. All right, can you hear me? Kalei, can you hear me? Kalei, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you loud and clear.
Okay, just want to make sure everything is all good to go. And we are live on Facebook right now.
Okay.
I checked that. So I'm gonna just take the opportunities to tag a couple people and then we'll get started. All right. I'm so excited.
I know, me too.
I am so super excited. I'm so super hyped. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. First of all, thank you for agreeing to do this interview with me. I appreciate it. I'm so glad to have you here. Welcome to Extra Blessed with Dr. Carla Maria, where we inspire people to live the blessed life. And you're my blessed guest today, who's blessed to be a blessing. So before we get started, tell me, how are you doing?
Ooh, do you really want to know how I'm doing?
I really want to know how you're doing.
Ooh, since you asked, I just love to sing this song. I don't own the rights to this song, but I just love it because that's just how I feel. You know, when someone asks me how I'm doing, I'd be like, okay, hold on. You know, because I'm not a singer. Like, ask me how I'm doing, I'm blessed. Yes, living every moment, no regrets. Smile up on my face, I'm like, oh, yes, I'm blessed. Yes, I'm blessed. Yes, I'm blessed. That's how I'm feeling, Hante. I am blessed to be in your presence today.
Oh my goodness, I'm blessed to have you here. I'm not going to try to do an encore on that. I'm just going to say thank you for blessing me with that song, but yeah, I'll just keep it to myself.
Yeah.
So again, welcome, 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 welcome. So before we begin, tell the listening audience a little bit about yourself.
Ooh, well, I just want to say talofa, which is hello in my Samoan language. And if they can hear me, if whoever is in here, on here, I just want you to type in talofa in the comment, although I can't see the comments, but I can just feel your presence in here. So talofa is hello in my Samoan language. I am from the beautiful island of Samoa. So my full name is Fa'apepele Hunkin, but I go by Pele for short, which means sweetheart, and that I am. And so I am the mother I'm a mother of 4 beautiful children, Nicole, Dean Jr., Victoria, and Bella, and they are my absolute why in life. I'm a widow and a Army retiree. I served 19 great years in the Army.
One second. I think you froze up on me for a minute there, Pele. I'm looking, I think you froze for a second there.
You know, love, you know, because that's what I'm grateful to my parents and grandparents for instilling that in me. And so, yeah, I am so grateful, you know, to God for this opportunity to be a blessing, you know, to your community. And I am grateful to you for being a blessing, you know, to my life. You there?
Yes. Okay. So you froze up on me just a little bit there. So I didn't get everything that you were saying because you froze up just a little bit, but let the airwaves just clear up in Jesus' name because I want to hear what you have to say, and I want our listening audience to hear what you have to say as well too, because I know for certain that what you have to say tonight is going to be amazing and that it's going to be a blessing to somewhere. So I'm praying right now that the airwaves will clear up and that there will be clear reception because we want to hear this interview. So thank you for gracing us with that song as we began and tell us about yourself and your children. And again, I'm not going to try to sing. So tell me, as you know, the name of this show is XtraBlessd with Dr. Carla Maria. So let's start with this question right here. What does being blessed mean to you?
Oh, man.
Can you hear me, Pele?
And it's echoing really. I can't really hear what you said. Like it was echoing really bad.
Okay. So I asked the question, what does being blessed? Can you hear me now?
My end.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you now.
You hear me now? Okay. So what does being blessed mean to you? Okay, Pele, I'm not sure if you can hear me. Okay, so we lost Pele just for a minute, but she'll be right back. She's back. Go ahead and, okay, great. Listen here. I am not discouraged by any form or fashion. In the area of technology, there's sometimes things that happen. I don't get moved or shaken about by technology.
Exactly. That's what I said. I'm like, not today.
I'm not moved by that. So don't you get moved by it because I'm not moved by it as the host. Because I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's gonna work one way or the other. So it's like, I'm good. I'm good. I love a good challenge. Amen. So
amen,
I'm good with that.
honey.
So my question was, this show is XtraBlessd with Dr. Carla Maria. So what does being blessed mean to you?
Ooh.
I know that's good, right?
Yeah, that is a good question. But say for me, I would say being blessed is God blessing me with the opportunity, you know, to have that experience to feel, you know, to get the full impact of God's presence in my life, you know, because for me, when I think about my life, I think about all the trials and tribulations. I think about the challenges and I think about all that I've been through that guess what? I persevered. And not only that, you know, I chose to be victorious and not be a victim. And that sums it up of what, you know, being blessed means to me, because if I never had that opportunity, you know, to experience God's full impact in my life, I would have never been where I am today.
Ooh, I love that. That's some good stuff right there. I love that. I love that. I love that. And I like how you say you are victorious. you have victory. You're not a victim.
Yes.
And so you're not letting your circumstances that you went through define who you are as an individual.
No, not at all. And I just encourage everyone that's on this show today to never allow your circumstances, never allow your past define who you are. Because I always say you are who you say you are, and you are who God says you are. So.
Okay, you are dropping some nuggets right now, and we just begun, and you're already dropping nuggets. I love it. You are dropping these nuggets right now. Woo. Okay.
Hey,
listen here. It's like I'm about ready to run around the room here, but I'm gonna contain myself right now. I'm gonna contain myself right now. So tell me, because again, the name of the show is called XtraBlessd. And that extra part means that we are blessed to be a blessing. Because
yes.
God doesn't just bless us with all this goodness just for us to keep it to ourselves. We're to use these gifts and talents and what he gives us to also be a blessing to others. So tell me, in what ways have you been able to be a blessing to others?
Oh my goodness. I know
this is getting good.
Right. When you were talking, I was like, girl, get out of my head. Because you were mentioning, gifts, talents, and, all that, God has blessed us with. So with me, that's what I am living my life right now. I'm using all the gifts, all the talents, and everything that God has blessed me with. I am pouring it out there, to anyone. Like I mentioned earlier, that my love has no boundaries. So whoever God places in my life, I am just automatically, it's like an instant thing for me, to just help that person out. And I have a perfect example. And I had asked her if I can, if I were to ever, speak on my blessing, if I can just use her. Her name is Alex Jennings. So I met her on my way here from Jacksonville. So when I got there, it was her first time flying. And I was like, wow. And she was like, I was going to get a wheelchair. I was going to, I'm not getting out of the plane. But then as I was there, I just had that feeling, like God placed that in my heart that, hey, you need to help this sister out. And so to make the long story short, I ensured that I took her all the way to her second flight till, she got to Atlanta, and she was happy with that. But in the midst of all that, sharing with her, showing her the process of traveling, and I shared with her my acronym FLY, how to fly, which means first love yourself. And so she said to me, she said, oh my gosh, she said, not only this is my first time flying, but you are blessing me with how to fly, for me to fly. And, well, we had a great conversation, and that was one way of me, blessing somebody else. But God has, placed some people in my life where I was blessed to be a blessing, to so many. And that's what I encourage everyone to do, to use your talents. Like now is the time for you to use those gifts, use those talents, and just love on others, because, tomorrow is never promised. And I just want to, me personally, when I die, I know that I will, die looking like the choices I've made in life, and I know I will leave a legacy of love, a legacy of just, having that attitude of gratitude. And that's what I've learned throughout my journey. That's the attitude of gratitude is very important in our journey, because that's how grateful I am with all that God has brought me through in life. I'm just going on and on and on.
Wow. No. This is good. This is really, really good. Because I was going to ask you, my next question was actually going to be, what inspired you to create the fly concept? Now, before you say that, before you tell us what inspired you to do that, I found myself, whenever I kept referring to you, I kept referring to you as the queen of fly. I was like, I kept referring to you as the Queen of Fly, and also as an ambassador of love and positivity. Because when I met you, you just have this radiance about, and you're so positive. So let me just rewind just a little bit. How do you stay so positive in the midst of the things that we see in the world? Okay, you said you were in the military 19 years, so you had to see some things in that experience. And
Yeah.
now you see things happening in the current world order that we have. How do you stay so positive about all the stuff that's going around?
Well, I'll get to your question to get to this question, right? Like, what inspired me to create that word fly? And like, your first question, like everything, ties together. So for me, like I said, all the trials and tribulations, the challenges, everything that I've been through in life, I've learned I looked at it as, self-acceptance. I had to accept who I am, and I had to embrace all my imperfections for me to say, hey, I'm not perfect, but I can do better. And so with all the challenges of life and everything, I said, I have to learn to love myself first, because if I don't love myself, how will I able to love others? And with God's love, mercy, and grace in my life, and I always say that's the only way I made it this far, was God's love, mercy, and grace. And I am so grateful. And so with all that, I said to myself, I have to be this to fly. I have to fly away. And I just had to share that fly, with the world. And, with everyone that I come in contact with, I always encourage them to fly. First, love yourself. And so it was the challenges, it was everything that I've been through in life that inspired me to do better, that inspired me to be better. Because in life, I chose to be better and not bitter with what life was throwing at me. And so I just encourage everyone that's hearing, that's on this show right now. And if they, if you press a replay, if you hear this on replay, I just encourage you to fly. And when I mean fly, I want, like, for me, when I came up with that, I said, you know what, I had to love myself enough to be the change I want to see in life. Not what my kids want to see, not what my family wants to see, not what my boo wants to see. Not that I have one, but I'm just saying, a boo on the way. But and so, I just have to be that change, I want to see in life. And then I said to myself, I had to love myself enough to just never give up on that me, on that amazing me. And I encourage you to do the same. Love yourself enough to be the change you want to see in your life, not what anyone wants to see, what you want to see. And just love yourself enough to never give up on you. And another thing, I encourage you to love yourself enough to have the heart of a warrior, to have the champion, have a heart of a champion, to serve, to serve wholeheartedly. Don't serve, for recognition. Don't serve. I'm telling you, and I'm speaking from experience, when you serve for the glory of God, you will be amazed with where God is taking you. And I call my journey, although my journey is a journey of many losses, but my journey is such a breathtaking journey. Like, I am so speechless of what God is doing in my life. And I am so grateful. And I encourage everyone to always have that attitude of gratitude. It doesn't matter what we go through in life. Don't be grateful only when it's good things that happens to you. Be grateful, in times of sorrow. Be grateful, in hard times, because, God is always there for us. And I've learned that through my journey. So.
Okay, I'm not going to pass the offering break right now. That was good. That was yummy. That was real yummy. That was real yummy. My gracious. Oh, my gracious. So you have a book that I know you have co-authored many books, but I want to talk about the one that you actually have authored yourself. Can you tell me what the title of it is?
Oh man, I knew I didn't want to run. It's on my bed. Heart of a Warrior, the humble journey of a Someone warrior. And I'm launching it next month. I have to admit that I have been a terrible procrastinator, with it. And it's been done. I'm not in no rush to publishing my book. It's been done. And I always say, like I was sharing with my publisher, the amazing Tanya Coley, I told her, I said, honey, I said, when God is ready to, to launch this, I said, it'll be on God's timing. So I'm not in a rush.
That's okay, because you know what? I always say this: God has a divine timing for things to happen, and
Right.
so I like to be in His timing. I don't want to go before
Yeah,
Him,
me
but I don't
too.
want to be behind Him either. I don't want to be.
Look, you don't want to be beside either.
Oh, girl, I do want to be beside Him. I want to be right alongside Him. I want to walk with Him, honey. I want to walk with Him. I want that journey to be sweet. I don't want to be like, yeah, I'm ahead of Him, or I'm behind Him. Right beside Him, like walk, like the old saints would say, walk with me, Lord. So yes, I definitely. Well, I'm looking forward to the launch of that book. Now, what's your most recent one that you co-authored on? Because I know you have co-authored quite a few that are bestsellers, but what's the most recent one that you have or that's getting ready to launch?
Oh, the one that's getting ready to launch is kind of hard for me. I'm not sure which one, if it's going to be Iron Sharpens Iron or Esther's Royal Code. So but the last one I just co-authored, which is my fourth one, was Who Wouldn't Serve a God Like This, with Pamela
Woo!
Hope. Yes.
Who wouldn't
Who
serve
wouldn't
a
serve
God
it?
like this? Oh my
Yes.
gracious, I love it. I
That
love it. Well,
was my
just for a
last one.
moment there,
Yes.
I'm gonna because I have also been a part of the Iron Sharpen Iron along with you as well too. That was
Yes.
hosted by Dr. Larry White Sr. And
Right.
so
I'm excited
I'm
for our
looking forward
journey.
to reading your chapter in Iron Sharpens Iron, because truly that's the case. So, so my question I have for you now is, what are your future plans for the next year or two? What's going to be happening with Palais Inspires? What's going to happen?
Oh, well, honestly, I just want a book tour. That's what I'm planning on, to just travel the world and share my story, share the book, and encourage everyone to tell their story. Everyone has a voice. Everyone has a book in them, and it's just a matter of, you just have to tell yourself that, hey, this is a dream I want to hold in my hands. Because I'm telling you, when I got that proof copy in my hands, I was crying. Like, it was such an amazing feeling. And so, yeah, that's the only thing I'm planning on right now. I just want a book tour and just tour the world, travel the world with my book, telling my story, and sharing God's glory.
So, what place would you like to go to that you've never gone to before?
um, the first place that I want to go, and I am praying about it, is Manchester, London, in the UK. That's where I want to go, because that's where my publisher is at, and I have already let her know that this is my dream, to have a book signing where my book has been published in London. And yeah, that's my dream.
Well, in the event you need someone to travel along with you, just let me know.
Oh, honey, come on. Yeah, come on, girl. Let's go.
Just let me know. So, I'm going to ask you this question here, and as we begin to wrap up, first of all, I want to say this has been an amazing interview. You have given so many nuggets on inspiring us to live the blessed life, and you have told us how we could be a blessing. And it has just been, it's been yummy. It's been really, really good. I can't stop smiling. You have truly, truly blessed me. And I tell you, and I know you bless our listening audience as well too. And you definitely are an ambassador of love and positivity. And you are definitely the queen of fly honey.
Yes, Hante.
You are. I love how when I call you on your phone, and you can you just share with our listening audience how you answer your phone?
Whenever somebody calls, when she calls, well, you got to do your part too. I said, House of Beauty, this is Cutie. How may I help you, Cutie?
This is Cutie too. But even the way you answer your phone, you just bring so much joy to the world. And that's what we need in this day and age. We need more joy. Everything's not always peaches and creams. We all go through our trials and tribulations, but I think it's how we handle those trials and tribulations that allow us not to stay stuck, but to move forward in them. And so I just love your spirit. You are amazing. I'm so glad that we connected through. As a matter of fact, I got to tell the listening audience how we connected. So we actually met through a mastermind group, Signature Entrepreneurs and Mastermind. So we actually met through a mastermind group, and we just instantly just connected. God's just amazing like that. He puts who needs to be in your life at the right time. I call those divine connections. So so thanks to Courtney Lee Smith and Dr. Larry White and all those others, Rashawn Ellis, we were able to make that connection at that event in Atlanta.
Me too.
Yeah, that was wonderful. So in closing, what would you like to leave our listening audience with? What last words would you like to give out and share?
Yeah, well, I just want to say something, that you said about it's not how we respond or something, to the problems of life. So I just want to encourage you to know that, when life throws you a curveball, it's not how we respond, it's how you handle the situation. And I speak that from experience, and I encourage you to handle it with grace. And for me, with all that I've been through, I am grateful, to God, because I was able to handle all that life was throwing at me with grace. And so I just want you to know what I really want to say. I want you to really, really look into your heart and give yourself permission. When I mean give yourself permission, I mean giving yourself permission to step into your greatness. And when you step into your greatness, I just want you to own that greatness, because that greatness is you, and you have greatness in you. And when you step into your greatness, I encourage you to step into it with confidence. Step into your greatness with joy. Step into your greatness with faith, and step into your greatness with a whole lot of love. Love sums everything up. When you do that, you will be amazed with, how God is moving you when you allow yourself, when you give yourself that permission to step into your own greatness and own it. Own it like you are your own boss, so yeah. And whenever you look at yourself in the mirror, I just want you to be inspired by that amazing you, be inspired by that bold you, and just know that God loves you and I love you too. And yeah, just if you want to, connect with me to learn more about how to fly, because honey, I can teach you how to fly. And so connect with me on my PeleInspire.com, on my website, PeleInspire.com. And I'm on social media, Pele Inspire on Facebook and Instagram, and Pele Hunkin on Facebook. So yeah, and Sister Carla Maria, it has been, wow. Thank you for having me here. It is always, I always feel blessed to be a blessing to others. And that's what I love to do. Whenever, people are happy, whenever people are, in a good, stage, when they're with me, it just makes me happy. And that is the most satisfaction feeling I can ever feel, and I'm grateful, when, someone comes to me and, I'm helping them. When they're happy, I'm happy too.
Woo! Okay, this has been a power-packed interview. That's all I can say. It's been power-packed. The last thing I was going to ask you was, how do people contact you? But you already answered that. But give it to one more time. Give it to them. Listen here, let me give you a high five through the screen here, because
Yes,
bam,
girl.
you inspire and you have blessed and you brought your A game.
Hey,
You
it's
brought your
all
A
but,
game.
you
You
know,
represented the
God's
queen of
grace
fly and the ambassador of love and positivity,
and
honey.
positivity.
Yes, you
Yes.
did.
So
So one more time, give us that web address one more time.
yeah, PeleInspire.com, Pele Hunkin on Facebook, and Pele Inspire on Instagram, and Pele Inspire on Facebook. And yes, you know, my what do you call it? The inbox messenger works perfectly fine. So yeah, let's connect and let's continue to make that movement, and you know, continue to be a blessing to other people.
Awesome. Thank you all for joining Extra Blessed with Dr. Carmaria, where we inspire you to live the blessed life. Our blessed guest today, who is blessed to be a blessing, is Pele, the queen of fly. First, love yourself. Join us next
Yes.
week on Father's Day for a special Father's Day edition with
Ooh,
Dr.
yes.
Larry White Sr. It's going to be
Woohoo.
a power-packed interview with the man himself.
Yes. He's gonna
CEO
bring
of
fire.
VIP Concierge and Signature Masterminds, Signature
Yes.
Entrepreneur and Masterminds. So you don't
Yeah,
want to
that's
miss
right.
it. Join me next week. Until the meantime, peace out. Later.
Yeah,
God
peace.
bless.